As I promised, we're now joined by Sardor Akhmedov, the partner of Miss.com and Jafton.com. He actually has a number of titles to his name, including founder, managing partner, advisor, business development executive, and yet you're so young. So you're here to talk to us a bit about the future of voice and video technologies. What can you tell us?
Right. Thank you for such a kind introduction, Jacqueline. Can you guys hear me well? Awesome. So yeah, I hope that my presentation is up and running right now. Today, I'm going to be actually stressing on just the voice technology and the future of it with the smart speakers, voice assistants, and the voice UI, which is a voice user interface. So a little background on myself. I'm a tech entrepreneur, like you mentioned. I was born and raised in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. In 2016, I founded Nutra First, which was my first, so to say, big company, which is a sport nutrition company. We do sell wholesale sport nutrition from the United States to different countries. 2017, I joined BlockCrunch.com, which was a blockchain consultancy company, which got acquired for $10 million after 5 months of launching that company. I'm also an investor and a managing partner of catering company called A Fundy Grill since 2018 here in New York. And I live and operate my online businesses here in New York. Well, actually remotely from anywhere, but I do live in New York. And yeah, I'm a managing partner of Miss.com and Jafton.com. So that was a little background on me. Now let's get started with the actual presentation. So how do I know this space? I work in the IT space where we develop voice technology for our clients. So we're a consultancy agency, and I build my own voice-based apps. And you can probably tell now that I'm overall very enthusiastic about this space, and I constantly learn about this voice technology and the voice space. So what is voice technology? For those who might not know it, voice or speaker recognition is the ability of a machine or program to receive and interpret dictation or to understand and carry out spoken commands. Voice recognition has gained prominence and use with the rise of AI, which is artificial intelligence, and intelligent assistants such as Amazon's Alexa, Apple's Siri, and Microsoft's Cortana. Common use cases of VT. So VT, I'm going to be referring to voice technology as VT in these slides. First one is very popular is Amazon Alexa family of devices. There's Google Home, and in Russian-speaking countries, you probably know Alisa, which is Yandex's version of Alexa. And there's also Siri and other mobile phone assistants on our mobile devices. So some of the facts and trends around voice technology. There's currently over 100 million smart speakers around the world. The rate of adoption of these technologies is higher than any other tech that came before it. So if you take personal computers in the 90s, you probably witnessed how personal computers were growing really fast. And in the past decade, how we all adopted these things, right? Our smartphones. But the rate at which this voice technology is growing is actually higher than both PC and smartphones combined. So just so you can understand how fast this thing is growing. There's currently, not currently, but in the future, in the next 5 years, 50% of all search that you make is expected to be done by voice, which means when you Google something, half of the time you're going to be actually speaking instead of typing. So what areas and industries will be affected? First one is communication and social media. There's healthcare, there's education, retail and e-commerce, entertainment, which is music, gaming, and search. Search is another one, actually. Smart homes, security and identification, task management, cars and other devices. And the last one is banking and finance. So I'm going to dive into each one of them, and I'm going to go like, here's what it is now, and here's what it's expected to be with the voice technology. So currently, all social medias are based on top of our smartphones and visuals like photos and videos. I'm talking about Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and etc. Messengers are based on keyboard use and hand typing. So when you message somebody, you have to actually type. How it will be with voice technology is we're going to be texting more and more by dictation. So instead of typing on your phone, you're going to be actually speaking to your device, and it's going to be writing it down to your to the person that you're talking to. Calling and managing calls by voice will also be available. There will arise a new social media. This is my personal prediction, but I am sure this is going to happen, that there's going to be a new social media platform that will emerge just on top of voice. And as a proof of that, Twitter actually 2 days ago announced that they're going to be allowing audio posts, which is a big announcement for Twitter because it was just purely text-based. Now you can actually record your voice and post it on Twitter. So healthcare is the next industry. How it is now is that there's this thing called telemedicine, which is the most advanced available technology for providing healthcare as of now. But even for that, we're using our smartphones and desktops. And we have to make an appointment on our devices by actually spending time on there. And it's pretty time consuming, actually, even to do that. And other cases, actually, you have to physically go to the doctor and see the doctor, which is even more time consuming. But how it will be with voice technology is that artificial intelligence will be actually able to diagnose people using voice data before they start complaining. And I'm going to dive into that a little later, how it's going to be done. And as of now, COVID tests are being carried out via the smart speakers. So Alexa or Google Home is able to not diagnose you, but it can tell you how likely you are to have COVID by asking you about the symptoms of the disease. Emergency doctor on demand will be available through Alexa as well. So when you need to call a doctor, instead of looking for your phone in an emergency, you can just go like, Alexa, call 911, I'm feeling really bad. And it's gonna get an emergency for you. There's going to be a reaction to tone of your voice. So if your voice is changing over time, this artificial intelligence, which is gathering a lot of data, is going to be able to predict if you're likely to have a disease being developed before you start complaining, which is pretty fascinating. There's another technology that's called big data that's going to be used for that. Next is some of the most common ways of doing that search is we are typing in on our devices, right, for search. And 40% of all mobile search currently already happens by voice on our mobile devices. And you can search for songs, names, and genres by lyrics through voice. That's currently. But how it will be in the future is, okay, so 40% of all mobile search already happening on voice, like I said. But 50% of all search now I'm talking not just mobile, but everything will happen on voice by 2025. That's some of the expectations by experts. And searching for songs by unlimited variables and filters, like you're going to be basically able to say, play songs that mention Independence Day, play songs for a rainy day to your smart assistant, and it's going to be able to perfectly find that song that you're looking for. And if you compare it to the current process where you have to go on Spotify, type in the mood, and spend time actually searching for a song only to realize that it's not available, with voice, it's going to be much faster and more smooth experience. Next industry is education. So currently how education is done online or offline is that online education is almost 100% visual. So some of the cases are YouTube, Udemy, there's Coursera, and other video platforms that we consume education on. We also read articles and typed books to get educated. And there's obviously active learning in the classrooms offline, which was more popular before the pandemic, but that is the case. And how it will be done with voice is that Alexa can currently already answer almost all of your basic questions, like capitals of any countries or holidays. And we're going to be actually soon be able to get answers to more specific questions down the road and more advanced questions. Like you're going to be actually able to talk to your smart speaker to get educated. Conversational interface, which I'm going to get to at a later stage of the presentation. So you're going to be able to basically learn new skills. And one of the big areas is also kids learning. So kids education is going pretty big on these smart speakers and smart assistants. So retail and e-commerce is the next one. First of all, currently how it's done is that you use your smartphones or desktop again to type in manually through all the pics and read all descriptions to find the product and purchase the product, right? You browse through on your desktop or your mobile device to find that product and purchase it. So you'll also have to type in your credit card details manually on your device, and you can't really hear people's reviews, right? You have to read through. So the process of purchasing online is pretty tedious as of now, if you compare it to voice technology. Now, obviously, if you compare it to 10 years ago, it's much better, but we're in the next level of this. So with voice technology, you can already purchase things on Amazon Alexa. So with my smart speaker, I can actually say, Alexa, order water or order something else, and it will actually deliver that to my door next day. That's in the US, and it's coming to other countries as well. We will soon be able to go like, send a red parka of my size. So if I want to buy a jacket, I'm going to be actually able to speak to my speaker, and it's going to know what I like and send that product directly to me while I'm doing something else. And again, the process is going to be much quicker with voice devices for online shopping than with a regular device interaction like it's happening right now. And you will be able to hear real recordings of the customers. Again, this is my personal prediction. I really think that people are going to be recording with their voice and talking about the product reviews. So for example, if somebody purchased this same jacket before me, and before I'm buying that, I want to be able to hear that person's review on what he thinks this jacket looks like. And it's much more trustable than just reading a text review. And overall faster experience of purchase. There's much less friction with voice. Next is entertainment. So how it is done now is that there's Netflix and other video platforms that are dominating right now. And 70% of all entertainment is currently visual. So you have to actually watch on your device to get entertained, right? Now with voice, there's things like podcast, there's music, there's conversational entertainment that's going to be coming up, which is not currently done. But again, my prediction is that you're going to be able to talk to the artificial intelligence about your favorite things, discuss movies. So if anybody watched this movie called Her, you would remember that there's the guy that would be able to really talk to his voice assistant and the artificial intelligence in that movie. And it's actually going to be happening in the next decade. It is real, not just science fiction. There's going to be audio-based series shows. So just like you watch series on Netflix, you're going to be able to listen to series on these devices, and that's also coming up. Next one is gaming and voice-based games are trending right now. So you're going to be able to actually play a game with your voice and your ears, pretty much like hearing and talking to the device and playing a game, going through levels. Very engaging. So that's it for entertainment. Next one is smart homes. So smart homes are currently limited to just lights, thermostats, or other devices. And smart home is mostly controlled through our mobile devices as of now. But how it will be done with smart speakers or voice technology is that controls of these smart home devices are going to be done by voice again. So you're going to be able to talk, like, for example, you're at a meeting, right? And you just got out of meeting actually, and you want your temperature at your home be perfect by the time you arrive at your home. You're going to be able to actually go like, Alexa, I'm going to be home in 30 minutes. Please prepare the house. And she's going to actually maybe brew a coffee for you by the time you arrive, make a AC turn on to the perfect temperature that you like, and prepare everything to your preference by you just spending 2 seconds and telling it to do that before you arrive home. And AI assistants will be everywhere, from your shower head to your night lamp. So I'm going to dive into that later on, how ubiquitous these technologies are. But that's pretty much how the idea is, that it will be everywhere around your house as opposed to just on your one device. Smart speakers already let you control lights and all electronics like coffee machine and etc. Like I mentioned. Smart homes will also assist elderly and children with safety control. And again, I'm going to be covering that at the end. Next industry is security and identification. So for security and ID, we currently use Face ID and fingerprint ID and passwords, right, to get to our accounts. And we also use email and phone number verifications. But with voice, again, it's done better because it will be passively listening to your devices, and it will watch for your security in emergency situations and act accordingly. Almost like having a virtual assistant that's always on the lookout for you and your loved ones. There's going to be voice ID. So we all know Face ID, but voice ID is basically the analog of that on voice. So when you say play my favorite songs, your home speaker will know who you are and provide personal answer to that. Task management is the next thing. So how it is now is that, how it is done currently is that mobile apps like Todoist, Wunderlist, which are, by the way, all multi-billion-dollar companies, are being used by us for task management. You have to text or type to put the reminders. So if you want to remind yourself or somebody else about doing something, you have to actually use your phone to type it in. And most people are still using manual input to get tasks done. With voice, however, you're going to be able to control that just by speaking, and there's going to be voice user interface, which will cut out all these steps that you currently are performing to get tasks done. So it allows for multitasking. For example, if you're cooking on your kitchen, you can actually go like, Alexa, remind me to wash dishes in 30 minutes or something like that. There's going to be cooking recipes. It's actually there already currently. There's reminders, alarms, and you can even in the future be able to perform more complex tasks, like saying, when Sarah arrives home, please remind her to wash dishes. So she will know when your sister will arrive at home, and it will remind her to wash dishes because it basically controls everything. And overall, it's a very on-the-go experience. Next is cars and driving. So currently how it's done is that people text while they drive, right? You probably are guilty of that yourself. And it's very dangerous. There's a lot of death happening by typing and texting while driving. And cars have sensor-based tablets or for management. So there's this a dashboard probably you have in your car that you control AC or music and etc. by actually visual board and typing in there. But with voice in cars, voice is very ideal for cars because it allows for multitasking, and you're going to be able to control your car by speaking to it while driving. Well, maybe not driving because of the autonomous cars. But basically, another fascinating fact is that BMW and Ford actually will have voice assistant Alexa built into them by default now. So when you buy a new BMW, expect to have Alexa in it, whether you want it or not. Cars will be managed through voice, like I said, and yeah, that's basically it for the cars. Next one is banking and financial services. So how it is done now is that mobile banking is the most common way of accessing your bank. So you're probably very used to using your phone to send money, to receive money, look up your account, how much money you have, and etc. Right? And you need to type in all the info to get things done through your devices, whether that's a computer or a phone. And it takes time to send and receive money and manage your account, like I said. With voice, however, you're going to be able to control your banking info, and actions will be accessible through AI assistants. So again, you're going to be able to speak to your voice assistant to perform tasks for your banking. And some of the facts is that Bank of America's Erica, so Bank of America actually released their conversational AI assistant on their app. So if you go on Bank of America mobile app, instead of typing, you can actually speak to their voice assistant that they call Erica and get things done through that. So they're already getting in there. American Express also launched theirs called Ino. And in Russia, you probably know Tinkoff, which is an online bank. they launched a voice assistant that they very simply called Oleg, which is the founder's name. Pretty funny. So yeah, even banks in more Russian-speaking countries are going towards conversational interfaces. Assistants can get your information like credit card score, account number, and etc. So basic user case would be that you can say, Erica, send $50 to Nick, and you get that task done. So some of the other devices that use voice technology right now are microwaves. Alexa is already in some of the microwaves around the world, which is crazy. There's smart glasses. There's wireless headphones that have voice assistants in it. Your AirPods probably have Siri built in. And there's rings, watches, and other wearable accessories. Smart TV is also another thing that these voice assistants are getting into. Sonos, JBL, and other brand name speakers are also getting Alexa by default. And even now, in your shower head, there's Alexa. So you can actually buy a shower head that has this voice assistant in it. Basically, you're going to be able to, while you're showering, if you remember something, instead of pulling up your phone, you can go and say, Alexa, remind me to pick up kids at 5 o'clock, and she will know that. Or you can talk to your shower or sing songs. So why voice, right? I basically touched on all of these industries right now, but to give you some rundown on why this will dominate is that overall, voice is frictionless. It removes all the steps that are necessary to perform a task. And as consumers, we always get flocked to the technology that provides less steps and makes it more simple. So if you take smartphones, why do you think smartphones are so popular? Because it made it much simpler to perform tasks like sending an email, sending a text, versus doing it on the computer. You cannot carry your laptop everywhere, but you can carry your phone, and it's very, very convenient. So voice is actually even more convenient because it's making it even simpler than using your phone to perform a task. And that is why voice is going to be popular. And another thing is that user interface on voice is limitless as opposed to visual screens on our devices. So think about the real estate that you have on your phone, right? Again, if you take these smartphones, there's only so much space that I have on my smartphone. And designers have to actually think about where to put certain buttons for the best user experience. But with voice, you don't have to put anything anywhere, as long as you have machine learning and artificial intelligence that can understand the user's tasks and conversational management. So if I go like, I don't know, Alexa, open Bank of America and look up my account number, that's only one sentence, as opposed to me opening my phone, unlocking it, typing in my password, looking up the account number, and doing so many steps, which takes 5 to 10 minutes. I can get it done in 2 seconds. So think about the convenience. Convenience is always what attracts customers, and that is why it's going to be very popular. And another advantage is that voice technology is device agnostic and it's ubiquitous. So with current technology, mobile or desktop, you're limited to the devices that you carry around with you, right? Think about the time when you forgot your phone at home. Were you able to get anything done? No, you felt like you don't have your hands, right? With voice, however, it's going to be everywhere. You're going to be able to perform the same activities that you're performing on your phone with just your headphone or a watch or a ring. And it's much more present than just being on one device, because it can be installed even in your shower head. Like I said, it can be installed anywhere. That's why it makes it more stronger than any other technology. And it is conversational, so more native to humans. We as humans are more attracted to more natural performances. So if you are able to speak to somebody versus typing in, basically what we're doing every day is that we're talking to the computers, right? By using our phones and computers, we're talking to the computers, but we're not talking in our native language. You can't talk to your computer right now, and it sucks. But with voice, you're going to be actually able to talk because it can understand your commands. Well, in the future, it'll be more advanced to do that. And next thing is that it's passive. You can multitask. You can be busy doing something else. You can drive. You can be driving. You can be cleaning your house, and still get your tasks done. And it will make it more superior to any other technology because of that. So let's talk money, right? You're probably thinking, okay, it's very cool, but how do I make money with it? 4 big factors that we can take for that. If we look up into the previous technology like smartphones, first of all, you can get presence on these on the space. By just getting presence, I mean getting the audience. So if you get a lot of users, that's obviously very valuable. You can then enable in-app purchases. You can sell to your customers if you develop a certain thing for a voice device. You can make a subscription-based model to make money from that as well. And most of all, your favorite part, you're going to be able to get data, which hopefully you're not going to use like Facebook irresponsibly, but that's very valuable. So market and competition. Market is not so competitive right now. We're at the moment where 10 years ago, mobile device industry was in 2010. So if you look back to 2010, I've heard so many stories where people go like, I wish I developed Instagram 10 years ago. I wish I did Angry Birds. I wish I did WhatsApp. If you think about it, all of these are billion-dollar companies, and people always regret not getting into mobile space early. Well, guess what? You have a second chance to get into this space because it is at its infancy, and there's going to be a lot of multi-billion-dollar companies that are built on top of this technology. And it's very early right now. So it's early enough to create a huge product. Now is the perfect time. It's not too late and not too early to get into the space. So if you're considering getting in there, there can't be a better time. If you wait another year, it's probably going to be late. So as a summary, voice is going to dominate in the next decade because of the facts and data that I have provided previously. Voice is ubiquitous, and it's not tied to a certain device. It can be anywhere versus just on one gadget. With the current technologies, it is limited, but with voice, it's not. Market is not competitive yet, so you have a chance. And like I said, now is the perfect time to get started. Okay, that should be it for me. I hope this was not too quick so you could understand. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Any questions, you can contact me on my Instagram or my website. And if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them right now, if anything was not clear.
Sardar, we do want to thank you for that presentation. I think you are 100% correct when you're talking about how, voice technology is in its infancy, and this is the time to really start focusing on it. I think as everyone's been staying home over these past few months, that they're really going to start feeling the need for that technology. And as you said, anybody who has any questions, go ahead and shoot them onto our game or contact Sardar directly and get those questions answered. Thank you so much for your presentation today.
Thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.